I fell in love with old houses as a child. I just was fascinated with the history and just how people lived back then. So when the opportunity came for me to have Petersen House and take care of Petersen House, I was thrilled. Petersen House is a major part of Tempe's history. And the whole purpose of maintaining something in a historic building is so that you can share it with the community and with others. If we forget completely what life was like in the Victorian period or the 1930s and what went on at that period of time, then we are losing out on a lot of our history. And so visually, we can help people realize what that era was like. Mr. Petersen was Danish. He came from Vilslev, Denmark, and he also was one of the founders of Tempe. The Petersen House was actually built in 1892. It was a Queen Anne Victorian at the time. This house was about 5 miles away from Tempe when it was built. And Tempe had a population of a little bit under 1,000 at that time. This was obviously a ranch house. It had a lot of space. It has a much more open, airy feeling, so it gives you a whole different view of what type of architecture was going on at that period. When the house was restored, what they wanted to do was interpret the house in the two different periods of the main families that have lived here. So we have part of our house is Victorian in style, and those are the upstairs rooms. The other part of the house, the downstairs, is set in a 1930s style. We have the fortune that there were only 3 different families living in the house, so it wasn't drastically changed inside or outside for that matter. For the most part, the floor plan is very much what it was built. Usually there's this wow feeling when they walk into certain rooms, particularly the parlor and one of the upstairs bedrooms. A lot of our people relate more to the 1930s rooms than they do the Victorian, because oftentimes they've experienced them and they recognize some of the furniture, like Grandma used to have one of those in her parlor, and so we get a lot of interaction that way, which is fun, and it makes you feel like they're really enjoying the visit of the house when they can interact with you about it. It's been a wonderful experience. You come in and you want to make sure that the house looks nice, and you make sure that everybody really likes it, and you work very hard to do that, and I enjoy it very much.